Okay guys, we're happy to have you in today's video. We're excited about this world premiere of the RapidEdge Pro. This is the latest Edgebander from Cantek America. You may be familiar with your other models, MX340, MX350, MX370. The culmination of all those models and the years of experience have brought us to the RapidEdge Pro. We're now using a really nice, clean graphical user interface. We're going to take a close look at that today. We've also added some automation so you can do 1/2 mil, 1 mil, 2 mil, all those changeovers directly from the controller. You don't have to come in here and change any dials or any settings. So it's all pneumatic and adjustment. We're going to see that today. They packed a whole lot into this machine. Let's just jump right into it. Let's get started. Okay, forgive any mistakes. We're going to try to get through this in one take just so we can get this video out to you without wasting too much of your time. We'll start right here with the adjustable fence. It's really simple. One lock here, and then you can adjust on the digital here. 1/2 mil, 1 mil, 2 mil, whatever you want to take off of your material with the pre-mill. And that's going to be determined by how you're going to design your cabinets in your cabinet design software. Let's jump right into the machine. And first, the one thing I notice is how clean this machine runs. Typically with pre-mill, you're going to get some dust and debris. You really don't want that next to your glue system. This one is surprisingly very, very clean. And if I can get a close up here, you can see it's got some brushes in there. So I think that helps a lot with how that works. And again, I'm not really wiping or spraying this out. You can see how clean it is just from running about 10 or 15 panels. Very, very clean. Quick change glue pot. We'll put a video in the description below. You can jump and see how that quick change works. It's about 1 minute and 12 seconds, very, very clean. It's got, of course, the end trimming, top and bottom flush trimming. And again, that can be set up pneumatically from the controller for 1/2 mil, 1 mil, 2 mil. And we have our tried and true corner rounding system from Cantek. And new on this model is the quick change. So we're going to get into that in a little bit more detail later. We've got the radius scraper here. Again, 1 mil and 2 mil tooling built into this system, and it can be changed from the controller. We're not going to touch any of these dials when we're switching over from 1/2 mil, 1 mil, or 2 mil. We've got flat scraping in here. Oh yes, and the sprayers, the liquids. We've got the front and the rear, and buffing as well. So a fully loaded machine. This is the RapidEdge Pro. Now let's take a closer look at the graphical user interface. First we start up here. We can check out this graphical interface. Here we've got the set value for your glue temperatures. And one of my favorite features is the standby mode. So we can actually force standby mode anytime. It says after you press this, we're going to be in standby mode. Confirm. Yes, confirm. So now what that's doing is that's decreasing that glue temperature down to 150. So if I'm going on a lunch break or it's going to be a few minutes before I hop back in, I can set it into standby mode. This kind of saves you, usually, typical machine, you're going to be 10 to 15 minutes of inactivity, which this machine will do as well. But I just love the fact that if you know you're going on break, you don't have to cook that glue at 190 for another 10 or 15 minutes. You can just simply force it into standby mode at any time. You can end standby mode. We've already dropped a couple of degrees, and then it's going to bump it back right where it needs to be. And then pretty much all the major functions on the machine are on this one screen. From pre-mill, there's a preheat section in there that'll give a little bit of warmth to those panels right before they go into the glue station. Guillotine, end trim, top and bottom flush trim, corner rounding, radius scraping, flat scraping, and buffing. Up here you've got the glue heater on and off, conveyor on and off to zero out your corner rounder in the morning when it first powers up. And then a nesting feature. And that's actually a really neat feature. If you've got hinge cups or something in your material, you can actually lock in those copy wheels and then run your panels with the hinge cups down, just as you see in the picture. And that will lock the bottom pieces in place and allowing you to get a good clean edge and not having your work pieces get damaged by the copy wheels jumping into those holes. So another really nice feature. Here's where we simply change from 1/2 mil, 1 mil, or 2 mil. So you can see thin tape, 1 mil, 2 mil. You simply press that button, and now it says 0.5 millimeter tape right here with the picture in the middle. And you heard the adjustments being made on the machine automatically. Same if we go back to 1. It shows 1 up there, or 2. So there you go. So really simple, really clean, really easy to use. The neat thing is to change from from 1/2 mil to 1 mil or 2 mil, there's really only one thing we have to do inside the machine, and that is right here. We just take a piece of tape and we stick it between these two knobs here, and that sets the pressure wheel to the correct tape thickness. Everything else is set and ready to go. For example, the top and bottom trimmer right here, there's no dials, there's no adjustments for 1 mil, 2 mil, 1/2 mil. And you come in here and dial that in, run a couple test pieces. You don't do that. You simply just do it on the screen and it sets these to the proper thickness. Same goes over here for the radius scraper. If we look here, I'm not adjusting any of these dials. It simply has a cutter with 2 radiuses on it, and it just switches locations pneumatically to use the 1 or use the 2 when you press the button. So again, no other settings. So honestly, I just come in here and change the tape and we're done, and that's about a 3-second change. The only other thing you could change is if you're doing corner rounding. We have a quick change corner rounder now, which is really neat. So it took the reliable, super easy to use corner rounder that Cantek's known for, and now they've made it a quick change. You can actually leave the other one stored in the machine. They built a little shelf right here. Just simply slides in and it sits there. So it's just 2 connections. You've got this air connection that plugs in, quick change, and then the quick change power cable here. That's really the only thing you do. And the neat thing is it comes with its own dial indicator preset. So if you don't turn this and mess with it, it's really just setting it back in, and it's gonna have the same settings you had before. So it's set to 2 right now because it's a 2 millimeter radius. This one over here is set to 1. So I can go from 1 mil to 2 mil in just a matter of minutes without having to change any settings or dials. It does have other things like workpiece length. It'll actually show you the length of that last workpiece in there, show you what mode it's in with different lights. And if we have an alarm, that's gonna come on this screen. It'll have a list of our alarms, and I think we can go get a history of the alarms. There you go. Open the door, open the door, open the door. Air pressure wasn't enough. And it'll keep a list of that with a date and time, which is pretty neat. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the dust collector on and we will run a few pieces. Okay, we've got the stations we want on. Just press the on button. That's another new thing about this new graphic interface, is it'll turn on all the stations that I already have selected with 1 button now. So that's really nice. Now, I suggest using 2 hands when trying to load a panel, but we're going to attempt to do this with 1 as I'm holding the camera with the other. And there we go. We've got the pre-mill on, so you'll hear that. We're applying the glue. We're trimming the ends, top and bottom. Some radius scraping, some flat scraping, and some buffing. We're not running the liquids right now. Really, the liquids will come into play if you're doing heavy production. It comes out so clean even without the liquids that there's no need for me to waste any liquid on these couple of sample pieces. It's hard to focus in here with this camera, but this is really as clean as I have ever seen on an Edgebander. Okay, now we're going to turn on the corner rounding. Since we have 2 sides done, now we can do a 3rd side, and we can show you how that corner rounding works for the first time. And again, I recommend 2 hands, but we're going to try and attempt this one more time. There we go. Notice how clean this is running. We've run a few panels again, and that pre-mill is picking up a lot of that dust, not leaving much behind. I love how that corner rounder traces all 4 corners of the panel. Between holding it and focusing, it's hard to really capture how clean this is coming out. It's dialed in as well as I can see with my own eyes. I mean, everybody has their preferences, but I love it. I think it's coming out really clean, but it's almost something you have to see for yourself. So we would love to invite you out, visit the showroom, get to see this machine in person or any other machines we might have in stock. Here's an extra long part just so you can see. Again, super clean panels. We're getting no squeeze out. It's just coming out beautiful. It's got nice, soft, rounded edges. I just love how this is performing. Okay, let's do one final edge, again with the corner rounding on. This is the fourth edge of that panel. We'll come around to the front here and see the pre-mill, gluing, applying the tape, front and rear end trim, top and bottom. Here comes the corner rounder. So if you're interested in more information or getting the current pricing on this particular model, just visit our website at ptmachinery.net, and you can click on this machine. It'll be in our featured section. You can click just simply request quote, and we will get you a fresh factory quote with all the specs, the brochure, everything will be delivered to your email, and we can be glad to go over that quote with you over the phone. You can text us, you can email us, anything we can do to help. Again, appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. This has been the world premiere of the RapidEdge Pro from Cantek America. Thank you.